Welcome to Showbiz Connect. Hey, this is the place where you make connections, and this is your best 60 minutes of the week. And this is our Zoomcast number 10. Yes, I'm really excited to be here with all of you and our special guest of today's shows on Making It Happen. I have created the Showbiz Connect to help you make connections and to learn. So this is a community for beginners, in the middle of the road actors, curious people, or persons that would like to go back to their first passion. Well, this webinar gives you information and contacts in the industry. I'm so happy to see some familiar faces and a lot of new people. This show is happening usually every 2 Wednesdays with the same link, but we have a special show next week with the director of Night of the Demons. And you can also watch all the last episodes that you missed on my YouTube channel. It's called Casting Vlog, or you can type Showbiz Connect. We're going to put a lot of links in the chat. So right now I'm going to put the link of the YouTube channel so you can catch up with all the great last shows that we did with unbelievable guests as well. Or you can even listen to the shows on podcast or Spotify even, right? In your car or doing your dishes or your exercise. We will also have the French show at 5 p.m. tonight with the same link to learn about hair on set, the before and after. So there's going to be all kinds of tricks that you want to know. If you are bilingual, you are invited to come. It'll be our pleasure. And since I just came back from Los Angeles yesterday, you will see my interview with billionaire Paul Mitchell very soon. We have new guests every show, and today I have the honor to present you a unique actor who will share his knowledge and inspire you. We also have a draw for one lucky winner for my showbiz, and we also have a gift for the live attendees at the end of the show. And most especially our famous breakout rooms for you to mingle later and between all of you so you can make connections, because that's the goal. So if you want to act, model, or become a better performer, well, this is your meeting connection, my showbiz. Therefore, I want to know a little bit more about you to know who's here. So if it's your first time attending Showbiz Connect, can you write 0 in the chat, like this is your first? If you are a newbie in show business, you can type 1. If you have been busy for 2 years or more, you can write 2. You're going to be my gonna-bees. And write 3 if you're returning to your passion after so many years have passed and you want to give it a shot. You will be my showbiz. I'm looking forward to meet you. Become stars, because you are all stars in my eyes for showing up live, and it's never too late. You are not too young, you're not too old, and there's room for you. You just need to start one step at a time. So I see some zeros, some ones. Of course, Mark is 4, he writes a star, and wonderful. Welcome everybody. That's fantastic. If you want to open your cameras, if some are not open, to be visible, because it's called Showbiz Connect. It's a visual industry, so you gotta make it count, right? Important info. If you want to receive casting breakdowns for voice audition, for roles, modeling, or extra work, make sure you are in the database of Total Casting.
Julie,
How?
camera off.
Right? I didn't hear that. So make sure you are in the
Peter
database by
Baba Booey, Peter
registering.
Baba Booey, Peter Baba Booey, Peter Baba Booey. Howard Stern, Howard Stern, Howard Stern. Peter
What is
Howard Stern.
that? What is that? I don't know. Did you guys hear that? Somebody has something open. All right, that was Howard Stern. Okay, no, he's not a guest today, but we have even a better guest. So we put the link in the chat anyway if you want to register, if you're not receiving the breakdowns already. So you can go to totalcasting.ca. And nota bene, if also you want to become a VIP, get the copy of the chat, the full chat after the show, and the full unedited Showbiz Connect show recording of today, you can click on the link in the chat to get it for $7. And or if you want like the whole year, if you like the show, you want to be with us in the whole of 2026, we'll get you organized for you to get all that. Otherwise, you can definitely look at the show on our YouTube channel. All right, so Let's jump into our special guest of the show today, Peter Shinkoda. Peter Shinkoda is a Canadian-born Hollywood actor known for his standout roles in Marvel's Daredevil series, Assassin's Creed, The Predator, Our Robot, and numerous other films and television projects. With a career shaped by determination and a passion, he has worked across blockbuster franchises, indie films, and international projects. His ongoing journey reflects a deep commitment to growth, creativity, and powerful character work. And he's quite a character also. Beyond acting, he continues to work in directing, producing, and mentoring emerging performers, contributing to a more inclusive entertainment industry. It's an honor to have him with us. Welcome, Peter. Hello. Hello, hello. We're going to ask you to unmute.
Unmuted.
Yes. Hi, Peter.
How are you, Hélène?
So good. I'm so excited to have you. We're also curious on your journey. How did you start in
Peter
the
mute.
industry, right?
Peter mute? I just heard somebody. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
We can all hear you. Everybody's moving like this. We can hear you. We're so excited
right.
to learn a little bit about you. Because what brought you all the way here today? What's the reason?
I was a kid, in the late 70s, and the four biggest shows: Jigsaw Hazard, Chips, I don't know, the $6 Million Man. These were the movies. I was obsessed with television, and I started going to movies by myself, and I realized I had more of an affinity for this visual medium than either my brothers or my best friends, because I would often go with them and they would leave. And I noticed that I would see movies 3 times in a row. I saw E.T. 3 times in a row, Karate Kid 2 3 times in a row, Rambo 2 3 times in a row. And my brother and my friends would always leave. We're leaving. But you go, I can make it home. So I started off as an absolute fan. But then I realized that, perhaps I could indulge and work in it. So I did the research, and it's proven to be quite difficult, but I kind of made it happen, and it was the only profession that I ever wanted to do.
How old were you?
4, 5.
Wow. So you knew then, basically.
Absolutely. And when I grew older, my relatives, they told me that I was always performing. We play charades, and I would absolutely keep getting up and doing, the $6 Million Man stuff. So they said I always had an affinity towards it. But whenever people would question me about what I want to do as a profession, depending on whether they're my friends or just an adult authority figure, if they were an adult, I would say I want to be a pediatrician or an engineer. And I knew that was always a lie. In my head, I knew I was lying, because I was planning to graduate and then get my professional work visa for the States, and then I was going to drop it. But then
you were living where at the time then? Where were you living?
I was going to the University of Western Ontario. I was studying engineering, biology, and then I transferred to engineering. But then, the actor Brandon Lee died in April '93, and that was it. Then I told my whole fraternity, all my fraternity brothers, I quit. I'm not coming back next year. They didn't believe it, but I didn't show up next year, and I was living in Los Angeles. In August '93, I moved to Los Angeles. But
you had it in your mind, you had a vision, and that was it.
Yeah, but in '93, I moved there. I had a permit, and I was there right through the '90s. But before '93, 89, 90, 91, 92, I went for full summers. I drove there every time, a couple times alone, a couple times with friends, and I was studying acting and going to UC.
From Ontario to LA.
Montreal to LA.
Wow, Montreal.
Because I'd come back from
university. It's a long drive.
Yeah, it's 3,500 miles or over 5,000 kilometers. So I've driven that to Montreal and to LA and back 9 times. I've done the trip.
That's determination.
About a month ago, I drove from Vancouver to Montreal. I had left my car there late last year, and I went to do a movie in Winnipeg, and it was you know it was a fast moving project, and I was in LA, and I drove my car to Vancouver, and I left it at a friend's house. I went fishing, and then I went to Winnipeg, and then I worked till just before Christmas last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
You keep busy. You work on really big titles like Nancy Drew, Daredevil, Stargate, even SG-1, one of my favorite, long time. Hawaii 5-0, Godzilla, Magnum PI, and now Prisoner of War, where you are on the poster, by the way. That
Yeah,
we can see that on even on IMDb. Do you
yeah,
mind
yeah.
to
That
watch a mini trailer of some of your performance? Do you mind we put that on?
sure, go ahead. Yeah, the Prisoner of War trailer is good.
Let's check out Peter in action.
Hi, I'm Peter Shinkoda. I'm a lowly actor. You might know me from Marvel's Daredevil on Netflix, and this is my life story.
Eventually, you'll just run out of warriors. They're coming. Never.
Tell them why we're all here today.
There you go. Isn't that great, guys? Fabulous. Love it. You're a man of action.
They've made me into the man of action. I've always been, very, very athletic. But I went into acting to investigate all these kinds of genres and roles. Not specifically action, but I'm good at it, and they use me a lot for it. So I'm not complaining. I'll keep doing it. Absolutely.
So you took what? You took acting lessons, you took
Yeah.
martial arts.
I took martial arts. I took judo, kendo, and I did take karate in college. But the judo, I stopped at 15, and kendo I took I think 2 years until I was 11, and the karate I took in college. But most of the time when I was attending high school, I had made the conscious choice to leave the martial arts to join football and hockey. Hockey, I was an amazing player. I played AAA North Shore hockey, and a lot of the guys went to the NHL. And then I played AAA football, and then I went to college, and then I left it all behind, the acting. But there wasn't a moment when I wasn't thinking about it, because I'd be sitting in 4-hour lectures, listening to organic chemistry and underwater statistics, that my mind would wander, and I would always be thinking about what I could be doing, what I wanted to do. And eventually, when Brandon Lee died, I thought that I had perhaps the goods to offer Hollywood, except I was 5,000 kilometers away. So I made that hard choice, and I had been acting already, a couple, 2 or 3 things, but I made that choice, and I said bye to my folks in '93, and I drove to LA, and I didn't speak to them for 2 years.
Wow.
One day I called them from this nasty phone on Venice Beach with gum and all kinds of crap on it, and I called Colette. It was '95, and Mom's like, "Peter, you are in California." I'm saying, I'm in California, because I spoke to my siblings and my friends, and I knew that the word would get back to my folks, but they approved. Eventually, I introduced them to a lot of celebrity types, and
They opened up slowly because it's not tradition. So for them, it was like you're really outside the box, right?
yes, absolutely. My parents, my dad was born in Canada, but he was born in Vancouver, and then the Japanese internment came. But he was a very monetarily affluent family. He lived like a block from the Vancouver police station. And then the mayor's office called his family, because they were very good friends with the mayor's office, and warned them about the internment. So they had left maybe 3 days before, and they came to Montreal. That's how I was born here. And my grandfather, before he died, he told me that he wrote to many Canadian cities, and many Canadian cities were not allowing Japanese. I think Hamilton allowed and Montreal allowed. So knowing Montreal was the biggest city in Canada, they aimed for here, and they took a train for 5 days. So my family, my immediate family, my dad's side did not spend a day in the internment, but they were released of all their fundage. You know, things would have been different if
Yes,
you know,
it's
if that
incredible
didn't
story,
happen.
sure.
Yeah,
But now they're proud of you, and they're happy for you.
my
And
dad, he passed away last year.
mhm.
But he did come to a bunch of sets, and he met a bunch of the directors. And as much as he wouldn't admit it, after I cleaned out his stuff last year, I found a whole bunch, a whole bunch of box set DVDs of my stuff and labeled
Oh,
seasons of of the shows I've been
he
on.
was
And
following you.
he was, but he was too proud to admit it. My dad.
Yes, of course. Well, we're
Yeah.
very proud of you anyway. It's quite a journey that you have. And
I,
is there a film or television that you enjoyed the most, that this was like the it thing for you?
just yesterday, I went with my mother to Rental Family, the Fox Searchlight picture directed by Hikari that stars Brendan Fraser and Takeshi Hira, and
Oh, yes.
it's mostly a Japanese cast, and
Yeah.
that was, I cried through the whole thing. My mom wasn't as moved. She said it was a very nice movie, but for me, she grew up. My mom is from Japan, so she grew up in Japan, and I've been back many times. But she's she's familiar with Japanese films where they're not holding anything back. Whereas in American films, they're concentrating on certain things that the American audience would find intriguing, like the Yakuza, or ninjas, or samurai. So those are predominantly the subject matter that they deal with in Hollywood films. But my interest was in doing that, and perhaps playing a gay character in Tokyo, because that's kind of a little bit touchy. I want to explore everything. Of course, I want to be in Mortal Kombat. Oh, I was in Mortal Kombat, the web series. But I want to be in everything. Like, that was a very small, quaint movie from Fox Searchlight, the lower budgeted features, and it was a wonderful movie. And
Yeah,
that
but
was,
you never know.
yeah,
It's not necessarily all the biggest one that's gonna make you never know the surprise that it can bring. And
absolutely, it was touching. And somebody remarked on it and said, "What? There's other Japanese movies you can." I said, "Name one," and somebody said, "Lost in Translation." Nope, it's not a. That's a movie about relationship with two Americans that are trying to find each other in some place that is foreign to them.
right.
They engage with Japanese characters, but the Japanese characters didn't really learn anything. They were on the periphery, shaping how the two Americans were dealing with each other. The difference with I find with Rental Family is that there was one American character, and all the other characters he's dealing with are Japanese, and every single Japanese person by the end had a character arc. And they started as one person, they ended as every single character. And it was wonderfully done. It was touching, and it showed Japanese culture and all its glory and its flaws. And it dealt with it beautifully. I thought it was a wonderful movie, and there was no action in it whatsoever. And Brendan Fraser is a wonderful actor and an even better human being. And the Japanese performers were also equally as good. I really enjoyed that movie, Rental Family.
And did they ask you to speak in Japanese? Because I know you told me you don't speak it fully fluently.
I speak like a 7-year-old, because my parents spoke to me. My dad spoke to me in Japanese and English. My mom spoke to me in Japanese, and they spoke in Japanese. So, as the rebellious kid, I'd be like, "I'm never speaking to you in Japanese," but I would understand. So I understand it completely, and I speak in Japan only when I have to. Now, I've had this issue with Shogun. They brought me into audition so many times, but
Oh, yeah.
unlike, yeah, but Hiroyuki Sanada, and my mom said it. I was asked to read for the first season, but I showed my
With
mom
your
the
coach?
well, I brought it to my mom,
Yeah.
and I said I can't read Japanese. It was 12 pages in Japanese, so she spent a day looking at it, and she advised me not to do it because she felt that all the Japanese actors in Japan, trained ones, would probably not be able to do it. They're speaking like in Victorian tongue. 90% of the words I don't understand. So I decided not to touch it. And in retrospect, I think I made the right decision. They came at me for season 2. And they said they're going to bring more English into it, English and Japanese. But then I heard there's a season 3, and there's a time jump. So there's more English speaking people. If I could speak English and Japanese, I would love to do it, but it would be a disservice to the Japanese culture if I were to speak my dialogue with broken English. Like my mom speaks English, but with a Japanese accent. I find that because English is my first language, when I speak Japanese, a Japanese person could absolutely tell, even if I was speaking perfectly the words, they would hear the Western accent. So that's a concern. But, it's more of a concern if I was doing a Japanese movie for Japanese audiences. But here for the States, it can be overlooked. I don't like to overlook it. Like in Prisoner of War, I spoke Japanese, and that it was easy to handle. I understood everything.
What don't they ask you also to speak English with a Japanese accent?
Yes, most of the time I'm speaking with a Japanese accent, but clearly I speak perfect English.
Yes.
I think I speak English better than 99% of North
Yes, you
America.
do a lot of voice work too. So
Yeah, and it's we're working through this. The world is in a very complicated place right now. I'm optimistic that we're going to make it through. We'll all survive this. But these are arguments that I could talk days about this. But things are working out, and things are certainly working out gradually, really too slow, but in our favor. It's a diverse culture. The United States is always, according to the Staten Island, they will take the poor. Japan never said that.
you're a little bit
The
of a
United States, I've
daredevil.
always believed the words that they put, and I'm finding it. It's a really complicated time right now. So I'm working through it, though. Everybody is. Simu Yu talked a couple of days ago, but I think we are making headway. So
Yes, I think you're a little bit of a daredevil. And talking about that, how was that shoot? And do you have any anecdotes for us?
listen, once I made it to set, everything was wonderful. Everything worked accordingly. It was a very busy set. We had a lot of big actor names like Scott Glenn, Vincent D'Onofrio, Charlie Cox. These were big names. Everybody was very busy taking care of their departments. I had read over like 2 months 3 times for the role. Every time was a different character. But when I got my first audition, I knew it was Daredevil because I read the comic a lot as a kid. And in fact, the most the editions that I have are the ones with Elektra in it, because that's when they brought the hand of the Japanese into it, and I loved that. I have the first Elektra that she ever appeared in Marvel. It's got like sweat and folds in it because I used to ride my BMX with it in my back pocket reading it. But when I got Daredevil, I knew it was. I thought it was going to be Kirigi, who was an assassin. So I was acting like him, but it turned out they swapped him for Nobu Yoshioka, who's the founder of the hand. He's 500 years old. I only found that out after I shot the pilot. They still didn't know my name. And it was 5 episodes had passed before I returned again. And that's when they told me I was Nobu. They're just going, stand there. You're doing fine. You're doing fine. Just stand there and look around. We're trying to figure out your character. So I'm standing on the 14th floor in, Hell's Kitchen on an incomplete building. It was the fall and it was freezing. But after that, they revealed that I was Nobu. And I did my research on that because that character came out, I think, in 2003. And I'd stopped reading Daredevil by then. But then I found out, I did my research and I performed it. I didn't, lots of times actors, they take coaching, private coaching. In fact, most of the A-list directors bring their coaches and spend $1 million, put them in a trailer beside their trailer.
Yeah.
And every moment that they're not shooting, they're studying. Like DiCaprio,
Practicing.
Brad Pitt's like that, DiCaprio's like that. And I didn't have any of that because I was very sure about the character. But not all projects are like that.
For sure.
It's very easy for me to bring the antagonistic energy because I kind of always felt like that.
But did you have a stand-in for you or a
person?
A stunt person, or did you did your own?
Yeah, no, the stunts, I had 5 fights with Daredevil in the first 2 seasons. I'm the only guy that fights him other than like Street Thugs. I'm the only superhero that fought him. I think Vincent fought him in the season finale in season 1. But each of one of those fights were very specific. And season 1, I had a number of stunt people, but season 2, and this young gentleman, Micah Carnes. He's literally one of the most dangerous men in the world. And he was, I think he had turned 19. I arrived on set, a stunt coordinator said, this is Micah's first job. He's been in this Kung Fu school that we all came through the last 5 years. He's like, hey, Mr. Shinkoda, Mr. Shinkoda, just call me Pete, but, he's half my age. He could kill me 5 times before I lift it. He's incredible. But he was the only one that stood in for me. I would do as much as I can. And I'm not flipping. This guy's doing like double flips in the air. That's not my specialty, If you want to take a great slap
That's
shot.
your specialty, flipping in the air.
Yeah, I mean, he's worked on all the Terminator. He's literally one of the most dangerous people in the world. And I have... I'm looking at his career very optimistically. He's worked on everything big. And, he works under, I think, Philip Silvera's crew. And Philip was the stunt coordinator for every season of Daredevil. Incredible guys. Really nice.
Was there a lot of ambulance ringing like this? Or?
Well, I did see one ambulance on, there was one big episode, the one that got nominated for the Emmy. It was called... something about the devil, but I was kind of the devil. It's the one where I have a big fight and I'm dressed as in the red ninja outfit, and it was a massive fight. That one was nominated for Emmy, but there was a lot of like Kyoketsushoge. That's this is the weapon that I had. It was a chain with a scythe on the end. I'm trying to, I cut him, I don't know, about 17, 18 times. But that's flying around the room. That took like 8 or 9 days to shoot that fight. Maybe 2 days main unit, 6 days of Saturday and Sunday, second unit. But the ambulance was there the whole time, the fire department, because I would have to step out and in between setups, and I would be practicing this chain. And they would all stand back 50 yards. Because I'm swinging it around, and flying, and, so, I would take every moment to practice that. And I find in more than half the gigs that I have, I'm fighting. So there's no real time to really, mess around, depending on the schedule. But Daredevil was moving pretty fast on a very low budget. And in the end, it was absolutely fun. When I would get to the set, all the crew, everything was amazing. It moved fast, didn't really have much time to talk. I talked to Scott Glenn all day once in a stairwell because it was just himself and I. But it was a great shoot, and I really I'm kind of proud of what I did, and that's what I have to say about that. The production side. Now the other side. Before you book it, the whole agent business.
Right.
That was.
It's long.
I'm not going to get into it, but some people know. But it was quite disappointing to me.
The
But
negotiation part.
well, it wasn't about the part. The part was amazing. It's about the negotiation, but that's all.
Yeah, and it's a whole, yeah. It's part of the business.
Yeah, but I just realized to what extremes it could go to. The actor strike that happened 2 years ago.
Right.
It was everything that I talked about 5 years before, or 3 years before, and a lot of people came out and talked, and they just repeated exactly what I said. But I said it first. People held it against me, but I have to speak my truth, and that's all I did.
Yes, be authentic. That's what I keep saying to everybody. Just stay authentic.
Whether you're an actor or not, whether I believe you're right or not, I think people that are have their beliefs, they should stick with it, no matter what I say, no matter what anybody says. Just be passionate about what you believe in. That's what I believe.
Absolutely. And if people have questions, you can put it in the chat for Peter. Also, tell me, Peter,
Yep.
I'm sure it happened to you to have the jitters, like to be really nervous before. Did that happen to you? And how did you deal with that? Do you have tricks to give to the audience?
I'll tell you, I was just speaking with my mother today. When I first got to LA in '93, I joined this fellow, Anthony Barneo. He's since passed away, but he was a great friend and a great teacher. I did a showcase at East West Players Theater, and that was it's the first and foremost Asian American theater. It's in Los Angeles. I did a showcase there, and this teacher said I had potential, and he said, "Come to my class." I said, "I don't have any money." He goes, "I'll give you. You can study as long as you want. You're good." So, and he goes, "I had Yuji Okumoto in my class, and Jimmy Tayanaka, who turned out to be my best friends. These guys are wonderful dudes. But Yuji played Chozen in Karate Kid 2. And I had the book, and I saw the movie 3 times. So I absolutely took that. I took that opportunity. I went to his class, and Yuji was so nice to me. First 2 classes, we were just doing a bunch of exercises. I was very nervous because I'm with 2 Japanese guys that have been acting already. Jimmy was in Showdown in Little Tokyo. Yuji was the star of Karate Kid 2. Maybe 2 or 3 classes, I was quite nervous, literally going, shaking, sweating. Then Yuji pulled me aside, and we had a scene study segment, and he said for the next month, we got to pick, do you want to be my partner? Yeah, absolutely. And after I had studied with him maybe multiple times a week for hours, and we were putting up these scenes once a week, after that, I realized there's no nervousness because everybody's nervous in that class. And eventually, after the years of taking classes, it just faded away. It just faded away. Now I can cry. They want me to cry over there. I could just give me like a second and I could cry. It has become easy for me when it used to be, can I cry? I think it all just develops with the time that you put in, because eventually I was getting places with the material. My scenes were getting better. And as you feel it getting better, the embarrassment digresses, goes away eventually. You start to feel, the personal pride of achieving what you're trying to do in your scene. So my progress overtook the embarrassment, and eventually embarrassment faded away.
And also sometimes intimidation with some other famous actors that you're working with. Sometimes you could be intimidated.
That happens in the old days when we had to go to physical auditions. I used to like the physical auditions. I found out that in LA, as opposed to Canada, going in physically actually helped me. It's a different feel in Canada. I go in and they don't respond, but they do respond to tapes. The only difference is the tapes just give you a million different chances to get your first. And in physical in-person auditions, you get the one chance. You can say, "Oh, sorry, can I start again?" And you can do it maybe twice, maybe a third time, but that's it. There's also the risk of walking in and, oh, there's that guy. Ooh, there's that guy. And then, you can talk and intimidate, or those people talking a big game and they're throwing you off. And unless you're really good at blocking that out, that could be a hindrance. So that was, I would know the whole casting room. So I'd be talking to everybody. I'm a friendly person. And then it'd be Peter Shinkoda. Oh, gee, I just thwarted myself because I was talking to everybody. I'm like, oh, duh. So I think in my case, it's better if I self-tape at home.
Yes, there's a question in the chat for you. Michael is asking, what was it like when you were cast in Steven Spielberg's Falling Skies?
Well, thanks, Mike. I was only doing the maximum of like maybe guest stars. I was a lead in the Real World movie on MTV, but I was the first one to die because the story was I get kidnapped and replaced with a guy that wanted to be on the show. I read for a lead guitarist and sang a song in the audition, but I got to the wardrobe and they made me into a failed pianist. This is how it goes in Hollywood. Anyways, that was one of the biggest roles I got. But then in the Spielberg role was, I think it was 2009. I was dead broke. I was helping somebody move some sound equipment. And only 2 weeks before, I had secured myself Danielle Dell from D2 Management in LA. I went down, there were no money. I was planning on hitchhiking back to Vancouver from LA. But I got this one manager. She sent me on a Green Hornet audition maybe 5 days before. And they liked me. They said, just wait. We think we want to call back. But anyways, it was like a Wednesday night. It was raining, and she called and said, "Pete, have your Canadian reps told you about this untitled Steven Spielberg alien invasion project?" Like, no. What role is it? It was late 20s, Asian, doesn't talk too much, an effective a warrior. He's like the best warrior on the show. And he's Noah's right-hand man. What? No, I didn't hear about this. When did this come out? Came out a month ago. What? I called my reps. Did you see about this? Yeah, we did, but it was a Toronto thing. And I'm like, what? Why? So I left helping my friend move.
That was your Canadian agent, right?
My Canadian agent. I was in Vancouver at that time.
Right.
I think I walked or I took the bus to my agent's. No, I know. I had a car. No, I didn't have a car because I remember walking home in the rain. So I went, I put it on tape, this audition, and then I left. 10 minutes after I left their office, I was walking home in Vancouver. My manager called, said, "We just got your tape." I just sent it to the head of casting at DreamWorks, and there was a casting director in Toronto and a casting director in LA who denied me the audition. They said, "We're offering it to 2 people today." So she sent it right to the DreamWorks casting, and she went, "Hold on, wait, this guy's great. I got to show it to Steven." And she called the 2 casting directors in LA, Deborah Zane, and I forget the Toronto one, said, "Hold off on that." And then the next morning, my manager called and said, "Steven saw your audition." I said, "And?" She goes, "He wrote it off." I'm like, "God damn, my stuff is packed. I'm ready to go for the screen test." She goes, "There's no screen test." I'm like, "God, what is write off? What does that mean?" She goes, "He doesn't need to see you. You got the part." And I broke down. I just fell to my knees and I cried for about 15 minutes because I always knew that I could act, and it's just there's not many opportunities. And then this one was absolutely perfect to who I was, except people say I talk a lot. This character didn't talk too much. And so in about 3 days, I was flying to Toronto. In about a week, we were shooting the pilot. And after a month, we were done. 5 months later, we heard it was going to series, but we were going to start in July. So we had to wait another, it was about a year since the pilot till we started shooting the season 1. Then that year went over. We finished the season. Then we had to wait because it was filled with special effects. Another 6 months. So I got the job in 2009. It didn't premiere to 2011. But I was talking about it on a Spielberg show, and that was the definitive change in my career. After that, people took me seriously and were actually looking at my audition tapes. And since then, it's been
Mm.
pretty consistent. There's ups and downs. I
Yeah.
think I'm gonna be broke again in my in my life, and then I'll
You
be
never
rich.
know when that break is coming, and you have to stay open. It could be this one, it could be the year after. You never know. But yeah, like you said, it was a pivoted point where you can leap a little further and get more jobs. Uh,
Exactly.
yeah.
My parents always, are going, there is no plan. Nobody hires Asian. You're ugly. All this stuff. And I said, yeah, yeah. I know, mom. I know, dad. I get it. But this is what I have to do. I got so many doctors and lawyers in my family. Like my family is very quite intelligent. I literally have like 4 or 5 lawyers, 3 or 4 doctors. All my cousins, my dad, uncles are all engineers. But we don't have to prove that point anymore.
No, this is your
We do
choice,
not.
your passion.
The one thing I always felt that gives you, any community a place in the community is being on film. If you're not on film, you're nobody. As we know, Americans, we don't have a monarchy. They love celebrityism.
Mm.
I've always known that. And as a kid, I
And
would
you think
talk.
it's more open now that Princess Summer is asking the typecast and the stereotypes? You think it's more open than a long time ago?
Absolutely. Maybe in the 80s, I was just upset with every single Asian character that I saw on television or in films was a nerd. And I'd been to Japan many, many times for months in a row, and I've seen handsome guys, man. I'm like, whoa, those guys are handsome. Jeez, they're handsome. My mom's like, look at that. And they hide that in their back pocket. They don't bring that out. And even today, if you noticed on the physiological level, they don't make any leading Asian dudes. There's a lot of comedians. But if you're not looking close, you won't see it. But I see it every day. There is improvement, but there's a whole. It's just got to be revolutionized. I mean, Hollywood is experiencing its difficulties right now. There's politics brought into it. Race is a big problem, and the budgets are the biggest problem for the the studio, the shareholders.
That's for sure.
Yeah,
We're gonna
and I
put the
think.
IMDb link in the chat also if people wants to learn more about you or
Do you want me to put it in? I don't even know.
We're gonna put it. We're gonna put it. No worries.
Okay.
For people who don't know, IMDb, it stands for Internet Movie Database for everything related to film, television, entertainment, including the cast, the crew. So you have the link right now. You can always click on that. You have all the information, or like if I want to know who's representing Peter, agents, managers,
Well, it's
conventions, conferences, podcasts.
Yeah, it's all there. It's all
Yeah.
You can get it. You can get it at IMDb. I only realized that now. I've been doing this for over 35 years. I realized that there was a review that came out about Prisoner of War, and it said veteran actor Peter Shinkoda.
Ooh.
Veteran. Then I realized, yeah, I've been doing this for 35 years, where Simu Liu's been doing this for under 10. And yeah, I guess for the time that I put in, I guess I'm a veteran, but I feel in my hearts that I'm just getting started. Like I got a million other parts to play. I just entered my 50s, but I'm still playing 30s.
Well,
I
no
still
kidding.
move better than in my 30s. I feel like I'm 17, and but one day I'm gonna look like Yoda. I'm gonna be like, old you have gotten. Like I know that because I've seen my parents like, holy, you just shrunk 4 inches overnight. It's gonna happen to me, and I'm just trying to get my share in before that day.
You know what? We might go a little bit over time today, but I wanted to bring in Jimmy, who did some direction on SG1, and he's in the audience right now. So I'm going to ask him to unmute. And I know you work on, I don't know which episode you did, Peter, on the.
I think it was season 13.
Oh, let's ask Jimmy very quickly. What do you think, Jimmy?
Wow. Well, nice to meet you, Peter.
Hey, Jimmy.
You're a lot of fun, and
Thanks.
you give all the emotion of your life out to the audience to keep trucking. So, buddy, you made me cry a couple of times. What was the question now? Like, what year was Stargate? I don't effing remember. Okay.
You did not direct me. It was
No, I did not. No,
oh,
there's no doubt about that. That I remember. If I
I
would have,
wasn't
right.
sure, so I thought let's the two of you talk and
okay,
I'll tell you.
if
I
I would
still
have
get
directed you, I'd never forget it. So.
okay. I think I did
Aw.
season 13. It was one of the last few episodes, but you know, I do you know, conventions here and there, and I'll tell you, the Stargate fans are big. Lots of them show up with massive flags with everybody that's ever appeared on it, and they've asked me to sign it. I'm like, I
Yeah.
think my lines were off camera, you know. So, but
But
you know,
still, it's in the title. It's there. So
yeah, it is. But you know, did you hear the new news? A new Stargate is coming.
ooh,
There's a new Stargate series coming. I think
I'm
Roland Emmerich.
I'm
What,
really
what,
excited. It's one of my favorite shows. So
I
uh,
love the movie was excellent, excellent.
yes, it was. And we're gonna have Jimmy next week as a guest. So stay
Oh,
tuned.
really? Well,
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So
You're
Jimmy, are
stay
you
warming.
tuned,
in
Peter.
Vancouver?
Stay with us. We have a gift for one of the attendee. Say,
Okay.
I'm going to be offering a 30-minute consultation. We have the last one-day voice class this Saturday coming up. You can do voice work just like Peter did. He's actually elected best voice, right? For what it was, Peter? You just won?
UBCP. No, I don't know. I probably lost.
Oh, with the
They announced
union.
it about an hour ago, but I don't know because I'm doing this interview with you. But it was the UBC Actor Awards, the best voice
There you go.
union.
So voice work is so much fun. You can do video games,
It
animation,
is.
and now we have the last one coming up this Saturday. So you can make a demo from 14 years old plus, and you can do dubbing, narration, and it's the last one of the year. Or we have one in French, December 13, if you don't have a voice demo yet. You can get a $100 discount if you book today for the Black Friday special. The link will be in the chat, or you can just call us, basically. We also have our à la carte menu. We offer a professional photo shoot for only $200, and you can save $20 when you use the code La Carte. You can also have private coaching with me for strategy instead of going in a zigzag, or private voice coaching. We just put the link also in the chat if this is something you'd be interested in. And we also have the private coaching for voice if you want to be one-on-one, if it's easier for you. We have that. I'm also announcing a premiere because of high demand, and voice actor needs to learn hands-on on how to build their own home studio. This is the thing right now, right? So my producer and engineer, Jesse Connell, I don't know if some people know him, he's been working with me for the past 20 years, and he's giving an intensive workshop to create your own personal home studio and for the recording in Pro Tools or other software, editing workflow, polishing your audio so you can have a plan for a functional sound booth and confidence in your voice audition. So you can book those gigs, right? So it's semi-private. It only takes five students, and it's all online. It's 4 hours spread in 2 dates, 1 week apart, $220 starting December 1st and then December 8th. So 2 days. And lastly, the announcement, my mission is to help as many of you to be the best you can be, right? So I created a full acting course for beginners or middle of the road talents with a step-by-step strategy to follow for a clear and precise roadmap. It's called the Showbiz Formula One. It's a fast-track online class to learn all the basics, the tools, and the acting skills that you need for a major pit start. So the Showbiz Formula One is a 90 days online course platform with videos designed for new and emerging actors who are ready to stop guessing and start taking real action. With your personal dashboard, you'll go in a straight line to learn at your own pace, since it's videos online that you can go back to watch anytime, anywhere. Thanks to the 20 modules, lessons, and templates for everything you need. And check this out. Every 2 weeks, you will present your scene or monologue live on Zoom with different coaches and guests or myself. And we can answer all those questions. This is all live every 2 weeks. It's wonderful to gain confidence for your last minute auditions, and you will not find it advertised anywhere except live here for my Zombies. So the Formula One acting class is the industry blueprint to know how the industry actually works. I've been in industry for the last 40 years, and then you can stop feeling lost and start thinking like an industry talent. We're going to give you the tricks of the trade straight up. We're going to show you how to market yourself, how to do proper self-tapes. We're going to give you even meditations geared for your success. You're going to stop second guessing and start winning. We're going to show you how to find auditions and agents. You're going to get in the game and you're going to start landing work. The Showbiz Formula One is your launchpad, and it's your first 12-week sprint towards real result. To sum it up, it's designed to move you from amateur to market ready in 3 months or almost. This class is a value of $9,680 with all the video modules and the coaching and the full list of casting directors, Montreal, Toronto, Ottawa, the full list of talent agencies, including specialty agents for comedians, circus talents, hosts, speakers, as well as a full list of all worldwide modeling agencies. We have the list of all the schools in North America, pardon my French, so that you can polish your style, your acting style, right? You're going to take a little bit here, a little bit there to get your own style. And we're going to give you also the list of the main acting job platforms for you to apply with your profile, so you can start auditioning for those gigs. I'm also adding a bonus. You're going to get resumes and documents, templates, workbooks, and a free registration in our database. And when you get the Showbiz Formula One before this Friday, Black Friday midnight, so since the value is $9,680, we usually sell it at $1,997 or 4 payments of $500. But for the ones who are applying today, we have all the extra bonuses with an extra 6 months, and you're going to be on the VIP list, and we're going to send you all the events that are going on and the mixers. Like, for example, there's a huge one tomorrow night. It's the Quebec English Producers event. It's a big deal. So if you don't know about these, we're going to send you those emails. Maybe Peter, you should be there. I'll tell you all about it.
All right.
So, since we're doing a special Black Friday for the voice class, we decided to give everyone 25% off, not just the voice class, but for the whole Formula One course. And that means that you save like $500 if you use the code FUFU, which means crazy, for Black Friday. And that means you can use that code and you can save $500, or you can even offer it to somebody who needs it. Maybe Christmas is coming and a niece or nephew needs something like that, and they don't have to wait years sometimes when you know you want to do this at 5 years old, right? I knew at 5 years old also, like Peter, I wanted to be in this field, and I'm still in the business, and I love it. So stop hitchhiking and get into the Formula One race car. So go for it. This is your chance to get your act together before the price goes back, obviously, or offer it as a gift, right? Or inform someone who doesn't know how to start in the field, right? Just help some people around you. It's going to come back to you. So I just want to say thank you, everybody. Thank you to Peter. Thank you for all of you being here today. Follow us on and connect us on Instagram. We're on Facebook, LinkedIn for more news. You can also listen to past shows on podcasts and Spotify in your car or while doing your exercise to keep you in shape, just like Peter. And you can see the links in the chat as well, so you can listen to the podcast at the same time. So keep the buzz, my Showbiz, and share the link to Showbiz Connect for others to profit the knowledge and the connections. We will leave you the Zoom open for the next 5 minutes. So if you need more time to copy what's needed in the chat. And I will see you next time on Showbiz Connect. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. See you next week. Same time. Bye.